We're going to talk about the significance of the Bible and understanding the Bible and reading the Bible. We've kind of been talking about that a lot lately. Perhaps God is trying to get my attention on this issue. But what we're going to talk about in that sense is we're going to talk about the concept of having something really significant that you're missing. And it turns out that it's right in front of you, right under your nose, okay? This is a concept that makes a lot of sense to me because I spend an unbelievable amount of my life looking for things. I'm always losing something. And if I were to be granted one day the gift of never losing anything again, I don't know what I would do with the extra time. I could probably learn 5 or 6 foreign languages. Because, it's a constant. I just wander around my house and look for things. And you would not believe how many times I will, walk around and look in every room in the house for my keys. They were in my hand the entire time. And like the other day, it was kind of a similar thing. We wanted to watch a movie, and we couldn't find the remote. And we couldn't get it started without the remote, and so we tore the place apart looking for this remote. We pulled up all the couch cushions and shined a flashlight under the couch and just looked everywhere. Well, there's an ottoman right in the middle of the room, and the remote was sitting on the ottoman with a piece of paper over it. And we actually, before we realized that, we gave up, and we hooked up another DVD player and watched the movie with another DVD player because we couldn't find this remote that was right there in the midst of things. And so this concept of looking for something that's right there, I think we can probably all kind of relate to that. We've all done something like that. And the story that we're going to look at in the Bible involves King Josiah. King Josiah was king during the divided kingdom, and just a little side note, these are the kind of things that I think about. Whenever I talk about the divided kingdom, it always forces me to kind of compare and contrast it with the United Kingdom, which was before it was divided. And when I think about the divided kingdom, I picture everyone having like a British accent, because the United Kingdom is, and these are the things that I think about. Okay, moving on. In the divided kingdom, the two parts of the divided kingdom were, of course, Israel and Judah, and Josiah was a king of Judah. We're going to read this story from 2 Kings chapter 22 tonight. Okay. 2 Kings 22. In the 18th year of his reign, King Josiah sent the secretary, Shaphan, son of Azaliah, the son of Meshullam, to the temple of the Lord. He said, "Go up to Hilkiah, the high priest, and have him get ready the money that has been brought into the temple of the Lord, which the doorkeepers have collected from the people. Have them entrusted to the men appointed to supervise the work on the temple. And have these men pay the workers who repair the temple of the Lord, the carpenters, the builders, and the masons. Also have them purchase timber and dress stone to repair the temple. But they need not account for the money entrusted to them because they are acting faithfully." Hilkiah the high priest said to Shaphan the secretary, "I have found the book of the law in the temple of the Lord." He gave it to Shaphan, who read it. Then Shaphan the secretary went to the king and reported to him, "Your officials have paid out the money that was in the temple of the Lord and entrusted it to the workers and supervisors of the temple." Then he tells the king, "Hilkiah the priest has given me a book." And Shaphan read from it in the presence of the king. When the king heard the words of the book of the law, he tore his robes. He gave these orders to Hilkiah the priest, Ahikam son of Shaphan, Akbor son of Micaiah, Shaphan the secretary, and Asaiah the king's attendant. "Go and inquire of the Lord for me and for the people and for all Judah about what has been written in this book that has been found. Great is the Lord's anger that burns against us because our fathers have not obeyed the words of this book. They have not acted in accordance with all that is written there concerning us. Okay, so what happens is they find the book of the law, they bring it to the king reads it and realizes we're not doing any of this stuff. We're in big trouble. And we don't know exactly what it was in the book of the law that freaked him out the most. Possibly he was reading from Deuteronomy chapter 28, which says, however, if you do not obey the Lord your God and do not carefully follow all his commands and decrees I am giving you today, all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. You will be cursed in the city and cursed in the country. Your basket and your kneading trough will be cursed. The fruit of your womb will be cursed, and the crops of your land, and the calves of your herds, and the lambs of your flocks. You will be cursed when you come in, and cursed when you go out. The Lord will send on you curses, confusion, and rebuke in everything you put your hand to, until you are destroyed and come to sudden ruin because of the evil you have done in forsaking him. And this goes on for like 45 more verses. Now, if that was the warning given to you because if you don't follow what the commands that are given and you realize that you're not following the commands that are given, I would probably hyperventilate as well. And that's what happens with Josiah, and he sends this delegation to seek out a prophetess and find out what's going to happen. And it turns out that the Lord indeed is not happy, but he is happy with Josiah and his reaction to this event. And so what Josiah does following this is he gathers the elders and all the people out to hear the book of the law read, and he reads the entire thing. Now imagine if Dale announced that next Sunday for the scripture reading he was going to read the entire book of the law. We'd probably, I don't know what we would say, but that's exactly what they did. They read the entire thing, okay? And then Josiah goes on a campaign to completely remove all of the idolatry that was going on. He takes all the things out, he burns them, he tears them down, he gets rid of it all, okay? And that's a pretty cool thing, to be willing to see the error and take responsibility for what was going on, okay? And sometimes we have a hard time understanding this concept of the Bible just not being there and available, okay? These people, they found the Bible and they hadn't known anything about it. And it's amazing throughout world history how many people have struggled to just even have access to a copy of the Bible. I had a professor in Bible college that had done lots of work all over the world in translation and missions work and that kind of thing. And he told me a story one time about how he arrived in this village to start doing translation work. And when the truck pulled up, this guy runs out and runs circles around the truck, just running and yelling. And he asked the guy that brought him there, he's like, what in the world is with this guy? He said, well, you see, he's been praying for 16 years for somebody to come to the village and translate a Bible that he can read. So he's a little excited that you're here. And this kind of thing happens all the time because there are people all over the world that struggle with having access to the Bible. We, on the other hand, are not really in that boat. We can go into a bookstore and pick up a copy of the Bible, or go into any church and find a Bible that looks kind of like this one. This is just your kind of straight run-of-the-mill Bible. That might not be good enough for you. You may decide that you need study notes to make you smarter when you read the Bible. So you can go into a Bible bookstore and get something like this. This is a New American Standard Study Bible, and it has all sorts of little tips and things to make you know more about the background of the Bible and that sort of thing. If you're a big enough nerd, you might like something like this. This was my graduation present when I graduated from college. And it has one translation on one side of the page, another translation on the other side of the page, and the Greek in the middle. It's a nerd's dream is what this book is. But maybe that's not for you. Maybe you're not into original languages and ancient languages and that sort of thing. Maybe you like archaeology. So You can get an archaeological study Bible. And this will have all sorts of different archaeological facts and archaeological finds, and that can make you super smart. But maybe you don't like archaeology. Maybe you're into apologetics and you like to talk about the rationale of faith and the intellectual credibility of the gospel. Well, then you should have an apologetics study Bible, and that will teach you all about that sort of thing. If you like America, there's a Patriot Study Bible. If you like the Gaithers, there's a Gaither Study Bible. And if you're not interested in any of that stuff, there's a Men's Study Bible and a Women's Study Bible. That should cover the rest of you. I'm pretty excited because they announced not too long ago that they released a Bible that's supposed to be closer to the original writings because they've removed all the chapter and verse markings. That makes me really excited because I'm hoping that means the stone tablet version is coming just down the road. But we have unparalleled access to the Bible, and we've talked about this and how we live in an age where you can get an app on your phone and you can have the Bible literally under your nose at any time. Now, what's going to happen when we're Josiah and we find out that something really great has been under our nose all this time, but we didn't realize it, and so we were spending our time constructing other gods, perhaps named Facebook, or Twitter, or Pinterest, or Instagram. And by the way, I hate to shatter the reality that some of you live in, but I have absolutely no interest in seeing a picture of what you ate for supper. That's all I'm going to say about that. But what's going to happen when we realize that we've made these gods out and the truth that we really needed to be immersed in was right in front of us all along? I'm hoping that we'll heed the example of Josiah and tear it down. And I need to hear that just as much as anybody. But that's significant because we as Christians are called to take the story that's in here. We're called to take this story out into the world. And you can't tell a story that you don't know. And so if we are letting ourselves get brought down with all these distractions and forgetting the most important thing, there's no way we're going to be able to tell that story. We're going to have the second praise team come on up. And the first song that we're going to sing as we have another time of worship here, the first song that we're going to sing is an old song called I Love to Tell the Story. And we're going to kind of focus on just this idea that when we are immersed in the Word and we know the Word, we have a story to tell. And that story is the story of Jesus. So let's worship a little bit more tonight.